Hey, what's up, guys? This is Rohit from the Gears Legacy. Welcome to my channel. First of all, thank you very much to the guys who've liked and subscribed to my channel. Um, and okay, so today I am doing a video for Gears of War 4, a different class called the Engineer class. Okay, this is another like a scout, another very important class if you want to survive 50 waves of horde. You got to have an engineer. Also, I would suggest you, if you're new to the game, you play all the other classes and let someone who's more experienced do the engineer class, because you actually need to know what to do when you're playing engineer. Now, there's a few cards that I use when I play the engineer class. It depends on what kind of team I'm playing with. If it's my regular team, then I would run this setup because I know that the guys are really good, and I won't need to repair anything. Therefore, you might notice that I do not have a repair a boost card. Um, so let me just let you run through the just a class overview first. The engineer is supposed to build fortifications, repair fortifications, and shoot when he can. Um, you know, that's the primary role of the engineer. Now, um, the cards I use for engineer is the first one is a card called Overclock. So what this card does is when you, as an engineer, build the lockers, the overclock gives you the speed of reloading the weapon. So when maxed out, this card will give you 100% ammo replenish rate. It's actually really fast. I mean, you just put a drop shot or any weapon on it, just after a few seconds, it'll be fully reloaded. So it's a pretty awesome card. What this card does is, like, basically it eliminates the need of having multiple lockers for each person. So one locker level 3 or 4 would be enough for each person, because the ammo replenish rate is really fast on this. So this is a must-have card on the engineer. Some people don't use it, but I highly recommend if you're using with a team that is killing everything and there is no sentries. Then I would suggest you have this card on, because they will need all the ammo they can get as quickly as possible. Now, that's another thing, brings me to another point of having sentries. You might notice I have no sentry cards on this one. Sentries on Gears 4 are really powerful compared to Gears 5. They will kill everything. So if an engineer you see building sentries down the front, it just kills the fun for everybody, because they will have nothing to shoot at. And when someone builds a level 4 sentries, bullet sentries I'm talking about, the amount of bullets going out of the sentries will make it impossible for everybody to see anything, any enemies out the front. So I would strongly recommend get an engineer who knows how to make this work without the sentries. Now, I do build some sentries, only the shocks, because they're powerful to take out the shields on the guardians. And because they've got a longer range, I would rather have them at the back of the base, so that they're covering the blind spots, etc., with the shock sentries. And if the guardians are flying inside the base, then there's no shield and the team can shoot them down. It works really good. Since I don't have any reload or the repair card on it, it's best to have the sentries at the back, just in case if they get damaged, so you're not spending, like, 5,000 to repair one sentry or reloading one sentry. That's the whole point of it. Okay, so moving on to the next card, guys, would be the decoys. Decoys in Gears of War 4 are really effective. Like, they actually attract enemies, not like the Gears 5. Um, the Gears 5 decoys are just worthless. They just do not attract any enemies. I don't know what they've done to the game, but it's unfortunate that they've just pretty much killed the game in Gears 5. I'm not sure if new guys who are new to the franchise would be able to understand this comment, but that's what they've done. I mean, Gears 3 was probably 2 and 3 were the best ones, and then 4 was okay. I mean, pretty good compared to 5, but 5 is just not up there. Now, anyways, decoys in this one, like I said, were really effective. So I would strongly suggest build an army of decoys everywhere, not in the base. Keep it in mind, keep it outside the base, and keep them in line, one behind the other, so that the enemies are lining up on the sides and your team can shoot them down straight away. It's really fun, guys, without the sentries, just having decoys. So the decoy cost will give you 50% discount on the decoy, so it makes them really cheap. The other card is the decoy health, which obviously it's pretty straightforward. It gives you 120% health on the decoy, so more than double the health. Third card would be the fortification health. That basically gives you anything that the engineer builds: barrier, lockers, decoys, and so on. It will have 40% health on that. So if you got this one, that's 120 plus 40, that's 160% health on your decoys, guys, plus 40% health on your lockers. So that's a pretty good card to use. Okay, so the other card, the last one I'm using this is because it's a locker cost. So how this makes it easier for the engineer and the rest of the team is basically you can afford, I think the normal level 1 locker costs about 6,000, and in the early waves, like, it's very difficult to have the 6,000 and then build a level 1 locker which you can't even swap the weapons on. So the reason I've got this one on, you get that one for, if you have this card, that's a 50% discount. You get that locker for 3,000, so you can have 2 lockers instead of 1, and they will both have the overclock. So your team is not going to struggle on inconceivable difficulty, because it gets really nasty really quickly on the inconceivable, and especially if you're doing like a custom enemy list, which is I will talk about in a separate video. So yeah, that's the reason I have the locker cost. And then this card, I can usually swap it sometimes with the repair boost, but I don't see, like I said, if I'm playing with the regular team, they're not going to let the enemies hit the decoys that much, so I won't actually need to repair anything. That's the reason I swap with the repair boost with the decoy cost. Another card I could possibly think of using would be the team revive. So what this does is basically, anybody goes down, you as an engineer get a 60% discount on the team revive. So it costs you a really small amount of money to actually revive the team. Because in this game, you revive the first person for free, the second one would be 2,500, third one is 5,000, and so on. It goes on. So when you think like that, if you've got a team that's going down a lot, it's a good idea to have this team revive card on as an engineer, because you're staying by the fabricator anyway, and then you can revive. So that's a good card. All of these other cards, like flow and sentries and salvage and build cost, I mean, some people use this card to give them extra 12% discount, but I wouldn't bother. Like, if you've got a good scout that's picking up the power within the round while the enemies are alive and depositing, you don't need that 12%. Like, you get 60% on the fabricator deposit anyway. So yeah, people use barrier health, stuff like that. I mean, you got decoys, you don't need anything else, because enemies are, like I said, they're really effective. Enemies get attracted to the decoys and you kill them. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for the engineer cards, guys. If you're running a speed run, then you will obviously be using like different cards based on what map you're doing and all that. I don't want to talk about that because I don't do that many speed runs. So, all right. That's all for the engineer, guys. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please hit like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.